You're listening to Anything But Competitive by Geeks First, the show that brings trading card games to life with the latest news, reviews, and table talk. Here's your host, Jacob.
Can do.
Right, can speak, can open mouth into microphone, except for when I mute myself.
Daddy has opinions, so we can do that.
Yeah,
No
I'm sure.
problem.
I'm sure you're probably so excited about all those super sick warrior support you got for.
God fucking damn it! Just put a bullet in me next time. It's just easier. Christ.
Greetings and welcome. I have a fantastic group of folks with me tonight. This is going to be a lively one, I'm sure. I'm gonna kind of maybe
We're
set a
already
little
on
bit
it,
of a
so
safety timer just in case, so we don't end up with a Josh Scott episode, because that'll be like 10 hours long or something. Which
Listen, I'll yap for 10 hours if you need me to yap for 10 hours, but you're paying for my coffee.
Listen, I yapped for 24 straight while raising money for kids' cancer charities. So
and what did you get to the finals of your PQ or your RTN also?
No, I lost 2-1 to not being able to keep track of what my opponent was doing when they were playing Puffin, because they weren't announcing triggers or doing anything else, and so I was just like brain in reverse stupid about it. And then the other one I got fucking regicided.
I did see that. I literally tuned in exactly for the regicide, and I was like, "Oh,
you're a curse! You're a goddamn curse!"
I was like, "This can't be real, right?" Not on the Huntsman too. I was like, "Well, that's my CC hero. Like, what's happening here?"
My brain, I was pants on head stupid because of just sleep deprivation at that point. And I present Crown of Dominion. And about turn 3, I looked at it. I'm like, well, that's the wrong fucking hat.
Oh, no.
Well, probably fine. And
surely they're not playing Regicide.
Yeah. Who puts Regicide in a list? And turns out my opponent. And I was also, because normally, like, I would be crossing Huntsman and the klaxons would be going off in my head of when you're banishing to activate Kasai's ability, make sure you're doing all the same thing if you can, like get pairs out of there so that you can still block a regicide, and just in case. And none of that. I made no correct decisions. Actual zero.
You had a good reason to not make those decisions and being so sleep deprived. So
man, it was abysmal, but it is what it is.
For those that may not know, we have 2 esteemed guests with us tonight. One is both are returning guests, I guess, technically. Yes, both are. We'll start with my one, probably to my actual left or right, depending on how you look at this. Alex, aka Ash and Wings TCG. Alex, how are you?
I'm good. I just got out of work. I am excited to continue to talk about Sage. The spoilers have been super sick, and I've just been excited to see new things pop out, and I can't wait to grind Talishar for like 36 hours.
Yeah. And below me, we have the long returning, I would say, it's been a while.
It's been like a year.
Yeah. So if you don't know who this individual is, Logan from Flesh and Pod, he is not the Ceiling fan, if you're curious.
That's Polish guy Rich. He's the Ceiling.
Okay. So, Logan, how's life? How's things been?
Busy. We've done a lot over the course of the last, really in the last month-ish. We did a 24-hour live stream for Children's Cancer Charity, which went really well. We gave away a bunch of stuff, which was great, and then helped a good cause. It's been RTN season, went to Worlds in Philly, which felt more like a calling than Worlds. It's been a whirlwind lately. I was looking forward to it calming down a little bit, and then it didn't. Right. And so still busy as hell, but glad to be here. Glad to talk some Sage. When you say that, it sounds like we're purifying a room.
That's right.
It sounds like
that's right.
Like dusting a curse away. Maybe is the curse blitz? Is that what we're doing? We're cleansing blitz from our lives?
Well,
Blitz has been cleansed.
there are so many things we can talk about, and I think for today's conversation, both of you have on your own respective channels done a card in review of the cards. So frankly, I don't want to rehash that, even though I at some point personally want to. I kind of came up with a different idea because I have, I would say, two big brain individuals with me here in the room. I would like to
this brain ain't big, bud. I don't know what to tell you.
It's big, but it's real smooth.
Okay,
very
two smooth brain
wrinkles
individuals.
gone.
we wanted to kind of mix things up, and I would like to go over. I'm going to minimize myself here. So I had some kind of conversations, and this is kind of where we ended up. These are going to help folks that are looking at Sage or Flesh and Blood in general, and just talk through some of the weirdness that I think the community has had, and while mixing it together with some of these topics. And we'll see how this format works, because this is kind of a new idea on my behalf here to try and leverage a slide deck to help guide the conversation. So I do want to talk about specifically onboarding and engagement in the card game, and that specifically kind of leads us into the first, or I would say the agenda, which we don't have to actually stick to, because that's a whole Flesh and Pod trope right there, if you're not familiar with that.
Those show notes exist. God damn it.
But I think that the topics that are most interesting are design intent, card pool curation, onboarding between maybe veteran and new player, because, first, I mean, I just been sorting to hell and back. First strike decks, the Dory versus Reinhardt thing. There's so many, the Blitz decks, anything they've done over the years, right? There's a myriad of ways they've tried to do it, but now they've landed on Sage, and those came with a lot of controversy. Also trying to balance the health of formats, and then obviously there's like design paradoxes that come with all this, because as bans and things happen, things change. So that's kind of the generality of where I was hoping to kind of guide our conversation. So, hey, look, it's fancy. Look how fancy.
Man,
Whoa, that's nuts.
It just flows.
Smooth.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you have to say specifically, anything about the whole argument of complexities and the barrier to getting people into the game? Because that seems to be, every time I have a conversation, it's Fab's too complicated. It's big and people don't like it. Like, I don't know. That's around here, that's the more often than not, it's people don't seem to think the game is easy enough to play or too competitive.
Sure. Too competitive, I can definitely see.
Yeah.
I think enfranchised card players do not have that hard of a time picking up the rules, but what I say to everybody that, I talk to that is wanting to try out Flesh and Blood, I say the same thing every time. This game's real easy to get to understand. It's real hard to master. I don't know that, when you talk about masters of Flesh and Blood, I don't know that you have more than one or two actual masters of Flesh and Blood. Because it's very difficult to master. There's a lot of things going on. All the heroes operate on some different axes. And then the biggest thing that is the hardest thing for people to grasp, especially right out the box in my experience, is degenerate game design versus progressive game design. This is one of the only games you'll ever find where, as the game goes on, you're getting weaker. Your card pool is diminishing. Your ability to throw haymakers is dwindling versus, a Magic the Gathering or anything else where you're building up. So later game, you're doing bigger and better things. In this game, later on, sometimes you're down to swinging a Miller's Grindstone for one. And that's what's supposed to close out a game, right? And that's completely different than traditional game design as we've seen it. And so getting people to adapt to that is usually the steepest part of the learning curve. But once you can kind of get people through that, I think people understand the game well enough. And part of the thing, I think, is the initial frustrations with the game are big, because we end up with people that show up to 3 weeks of Armory and they don't win a game, right?
Yep. Because,
again, rules are easy, game is hard. But that fourth week, they went 2-1. And then they did that for a couple weeks. And then they finally hit the 3-0 and actually win an Armory. And now that the ball is now rolling, right? And I think that the hardest part of Flesh and Blood really isn't anything other than retention. I think you can get people to try fairly easily, but the complexity barrier in onboarding is not a myth so much as misguided, because it's not necessarily the complexity is a barrier in onboarding. In my experience, the complexity in Fab is in retention. That's the barrier. It belongs in the retention sphere, not the onboarding sphere.
Alex, what's your thoughts?
That's it's pretty much same. I mean, I host a casual night out here in Colorado to have people show up and play, maybe for their first time, maybe they're, just getting back into the game and doing that kind of stuff there too. But it really is about the more you play, and in some cases even just like the more you play a specific hero, the better you become. I mean, it is quite literally a skill, right? You can't, I mean, it's not often you meet a prodigy of these things in which they pick up their first deck of cards and go, okay, cool, I'm winning a calling. Like, this is a game in which you learn the rules. The game is easy to learn because it is just, I mean, the corners of the card kind of say most of everything. And it's very, very, like, that's the way it was designed in that method, is to be fairly easy to learn. But if you are to learn everything, right, you need to be playing all the time, not like, several hours a day, but at least go to your armory every week, or go to 2 armories a week if you really want to. And that practice is going to get you knowledge into matchups. It's going to get you knowledge into combos for your hero. It's going to allow you to try out new cards you haven't tried out before. And that's what's going to stick in your brain. You're going to see that thing work, and you're going to go, that is what is going to win me my next game when I play into this person next week. And that is invaluable. And that's why, the whole tag, if essential like tagline a lot of people have is like, you get your teeth kicked in for the first 2 weeks, but third week you're getting a win. I mean, we have a local who only started about, 3 months ago or something, and he's got his Nats invite just this last couple weekends. So it really is just, if you put in the time, you can do pretty well. But it's about keeping them there, right? Some people just kind of want to try something and then don't want to commit to that much time, which is fine. That's what, budget decks and stuff are for, if you're just looking to like table that with some buddies. But if you're trying to be competitive, which the game is marketed towards, it does require a lot more than just, one a month.
I will say this. I have lost probably more games in 6 months than I have won, which is a very true statement. I think I've only won 1 or 2 games. And my problem is not that I think I'm okay, but I'm also in a pool of people that are just really damn good, and they play a lot more than I do, and they know the matchups better. So no matter how I try to tune my deck, I'm playing Puffin, by the way. I was playing Max, and I was before that trying to play Teklavos, and I was before that playing Katsu. So it's like, there are just...
Have you thought about a good deck? Have you ever stopped and considered a good deck?
Part of the reason, I think, is stuff like that. But at the same token, I don't know. So with picking good decks, I do want to ask this next question, which I thought was kind of interesting. Blitz, no more, technically. I mean, it exists, but it's singleton and classic constructed formats, which, I know a lot of people always complain, high barrier. You've seen the prices recently after compendium announcements. I've seen the staples, the generic staples, are coming down like bottle rockets. Like, they're just, I think CNC is now like $40-50. Shelter of the Storm is probably in the same ballpark, right? So I wanted to really talk about this last one, the decision fatigue and confusion. This, I think, affects me, because after about 6 or 7 matchups, especially against heroes that I'm not good against, like Prism or some Rune Blades that are out there, I've had to make so many decisions that I don't even know if I made the right ones, and I don't know how to tell when my decision forks really screwed me for the whole game going forward. And maybe that's part of why people have a hard time coming back. We have one individual I won't name his actual name, but I'll just call him Player One. He joined our local armory and was pretty consistent for a couple, like almost 2 months straight. And then all of a sudden he just hasn't been back. And it's like, well, now I don't know if it's because life. I don't know if it's because decision of he just wasn't doing that well or because he didn't like it. Like there's a lot of things that I'm finding, at least in our smaller community, right? Because Alex, you have a much bigger community. Logan, I think you have a bigger community where you're at too. But I mean, my local armory is only, 4 to 6 to 8 people at max. And like, honestly, it's more closer to 4 half the time than it is to 6 or 8. And we're trying to grow. And I really hope Sage can do that. I think that's, one of the directions I'd like to take this is, Sage.
So, one of the things that I really encourage people to do when I'm teaching them to play, like I just had a couple of friends who came from Magic to minis, like playing all kinds of miniature games. And then their friends in the miniature sphere brought them into Flesh and Blood because apparently they were playing. Yeah, there you go. They were looking to play Blood Bowl or something at Gen Con and it got canceled. So they were angrily watching. No, God no. Angrily, they used to play that. Like the Muse on Minis guys were big on War Machine back when War Machine was a thing. So like they were kind of pissed off walking around the vendor hall and they noticed Flesh and Blood. They tried the demo decks. One of the guys loved it, dropped a couple G's on product, and those guys started playing. And then they brought that to the miniature guys that could go to their events in Kansas City from Des Moines. And suddenly they're wanting to play, right? And they knew I was into it, and we've been friends for 20 some years, and here we go, right? And but the one thing I always encourage them, especially when they're first starting, and they're both very new and already very good. And a lot of that is when you are playing and you don't, like you kind of alluded to, you don't know where that decision tree went wrong. How often have you asked your opponent about the match?
Recently, I'll call his name out verbatim, but Matt, on Hit Podcast, I don't know if they're still doing stuff, but I've been asking like, okay, I just did this, thing with Puffin against you at the end of the match. Can you tell me, do you feel I made any major glaring errors or, granted, again, this is the one thing I hate about Jim that I'm just going to complain about. I'm going to step on my soap bar stool, whatever, soapbox. Jim only reports a loss or a win. So it doesn't make a difference how many of these last, let's say 6 months I've lost, but I've gotten closer to winning. It still reports as a loss. So even though I show incremental gains on my side, there's nothing to somebody looking at that metric on the other side of the fence that says I'm doing any better than I've ever done, which is
who's
weird.
Looking at that metric?
I don't know. That's
the
what
point.
I would
They're
be
not.
curious about.
You are.
Well, see, I figure somebody at some point would. So
no,
I don't know.
They don't.
No, LSS doesn't care about how many times you lose. It doesn't care how many times you win. Like, I think the important part is that whenever you're going through the process of learning your matchups, like matchups against locals, maybe there's a deck that you just feel is really, really difficult to grasp what they're trying to do and why. I mean, it's about, you consume a lot of media for Flesh of Blood. Like, certainly a lot of deck techs out there that can be a great way for you to learn from the eyes of a person who plays those heroes what their plan is into other heroes. But also, like writing down notes when you're going to armories, right? Making sure that you're, I swung, or I made Nitro Mechanoid on turn 6, but I had the ability to make it turn 4. What was going to be the outcome if I made it 4 at turn 4 instead of turn 6? And those are the decision points that allow you to figure out kind of where you're at, right? Like, what are you sure? Like, you can't always guarantee you're going to get mech turn 4, but you know what you should be thinking about when you see those lines appear and decide from that, right? Those codex journals are like a big thing that a lot of people are utilizing, and it's just this very detailed journal that, you've got a great amount of, paper to write down all of your notes about the match and the life totals and where they are. And I even sometimes what I'll do is I'll just keep, if I go to an RTN or something, I'll keep my life pad, like the sheets of paper from my life pad, and like review them effectively to be like, okay, like this is where I got in this match that I thought was doomed from the start. This is where I am. I got them to 3. Like, that's that's important for you as a player to know. And those note-taking skills, that's all something that can help you learn. So that way, when you do go to something like an RTN or a PQ where you can't like take notes, right? That is, retained information that you've had.
Yeah. There's a page in my life pad that says "Some bitch had an axe" was the note.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder who that was.
God, it couldn't have been me. Let me tell you, I could never play Decimator Great
I
Axe.
would never play Decimator Great Axe.
I could never play Warrior
Olympia.
at a casual event.
At a casual event in a common area in a hotel, and you're like, Decimator people.
Decimator.
Hurt you. I'm off that. We're good.
Soapbox down.
No. I'm on that box until it falls apart. But...
So Logan, I'm gonna point this one at you. Compendium's approach to reprinting, and I kind of thought in a weird way. I thought they trimmed keywords. I saw the. Let me try to frame why I say this. We saw the recurrence of contract. We saw the recurrence of stealth. We saw the recurrence of a couple other, crank is in there or boost, right? But there were other, I thought keywords that were not a part of this set. And I don't know if that means that they're going to abandon those or if that means that they're going to, ever go back to those mechanics. That was always something, at least I keep pointing at Assassin, but we had no idea if they were come back to like contract cards as an example.
Bless.
So this may shock you, but virtually every keyword ever printed on a Flesh and Blood card is in Compendium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Almost every single one. I'm looking to set the list right now. Temper, Guardwell, Spell Void, Arcane Barrier, Intimidate. Obviously Go Again is in there. Dominate, Wager, Combo,
Quell.
Quell.
Oh,
yeah,
I missed
Quell.
Combo. I didn't think Combo.
No,
was
that's
that
not
good.
Combo. I thought there was one Combo card, but there isn't. That's my bad.
Oh, okay.
Combo's not there. But yeah, Quell is there. Obviously, Boost, Battle Worn, Blade Break. You mentioned Crank. Scrap is in here.
They brought back Mirage.
They did bring back Mirage of all things. There's specializations. There's is there Phantasm on that one card? Because that card pisses me off to no end.
There isn't.
Son of a no, there is one. Herald of Victoria has Phantasm. God damn it.
Yes. Herald Victoria has Phantasm. That is correct.
I hate that card so much. Rune Gate, Blood Debts, Earth Bond, Lightning Bond, Ice Bond.
Okay.
There's no Fuse in here. Thank God.
No.
That was one of the Tales of Aria stuff was one of the things I noticed they didn't really have essence of, I didn't think, or I guess they have essence
because that's
of.
Heroes.
Okay. That would be why. Okay.
And then Decompose, Freeze is in here. Like it's virtually legendary. The legendary keyword is in here. Stealth. It's almost all of them. Ambush is here.
Yeah, Ambush is back. There's a lot of keywords. I think that I don't know if they missed too much, and I think that's something that this set did a lot of, which is go back to a lot of the things that they touched on in like one card in an expansion slot 5 sets ago.
I mean,
and they were just like this might be important.
I feel like Compendium is almost a better version of what they tried to do with like Dynasty, in a way.
100%.
Like kind of like Dynasty was like the prototype, or even Everfest was like the prototype, and then this is kind of like the actual culmination of all of that effort figured out, and I think done, I would say, right. Looking kind of at these reprints specifically, the one thing I noticed, the cards in the Sage precons are not in the core set necessarily, which is good and bad. Good and bad. Good for new players.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
I know that was like the whole core of a whole conversation. So feel free to run with either of that if you guys want to talk more into it.
I forgot about naming Unity. That was one of the warrior.
The cards going in my freaking Decimator Olympia.
Yeah,
Great.
that was the first thing that made me so upset about the Unity thing. I'm like, I look at these like these are sick, and then like, wait, Kasai's still unplayable. These are Olympia cards. Shit.
Yeah. The fact they printed Olympia support in 2026.
What
the
about
year of our
Betsy?
Lord 2026? God damn it. But even Sharpen's in here for God's sakes, and that's this is the first time we'll have shown up because this will come ahead of the holodeck.
Yeah.
So I think it's like this set to me is this weird dichotomy of an absolute banger win and an utter disappointment at the same time.
Okay.
And the disappointment comes directly from being a Kasai simp, because Coppers still do nothing in Silver Age.
Yep.
And that's, that I dislike.
That does suck.
You got to wait till Copper Age.
Get out of here. Cancel him. Get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out. Get this guy out of here. Now explains all the contract cards. Oh my God,
I'll see myself out.
Yeah. If you leave it on record,
I had that one in the arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take it from here, Jacob. Don't you worry.
Jesus. But I look at some of these things, and things like Savage Claw is bad, right? Like, I got to listen to a 3-minute Eugene C. screed against Savage Claw. It was, what did he say? He was talking about that KO is going to leave. It's going to make Reinhardt unplayable. He's like, right now, I have Spork. It has Tines. Then they're going to give me fucking Spoon. Like, you're not wrong.
It's one of those feels bads. I think it is there are things that definitely can that we've seen are pretty significant improvements compared to what they were previously. But
every class got improvements at some point in the line.
Yeah, which is awesome.
100%.
Like that's what we want to see. But there are some things that were missed, right? But obviously you can't print like a 750 card set or some nonsense, right? Because that's like a lot.
They did it in history pack.
No, those aren't real. But those are white cards. They don't exist. But because for about a year, I mean, Jacob, you listen to the show, you could probably keep me honest on this. I've been talking about the need to return to supplemental sets to print support. And in my brain, and LSS obviously listens to the show because they keep doing the things we say. That's not necessarily true. It's also not necessarily false. But this is exactly the picture we painted, was a set that prints support, that it's meant to elevate classes and heroes and give them tools to fight their worst matchups. So you think about Guardian into Gravy Bones, Sense Weakness. There you go. We did it. You think of, Warrior's getting shafted all the time. That's just nothing new. We're just going to go ahead and leave that where it is. But there is support here for a new hero printed in this supplemental set before the hero's released. That's cool.
The most devastating piece about Compendium is I didn't get any additional COG cards for Puffin.
But you can already play an unlimited number of Copper COG.
Yeah, how many COGs do you need, Jacob?
What do you need?
Greedy. Greedy. Logan can't do anything with his Copper and Sage, but he got COGs.
As a tournament organizer for events at my local, I will say one of the things that pisses me off the most about Copper COG is that in Gem, anytime that there's a mechanologist deck, like a Puffin deck, and it's submitted, it automatically has a little thing next to it saying that they submitted an illegal deck list, and it's always because Gem can't discern that Copper COG can be more than 3.
Huh.
And so every time I have to go in and check the box to say, no, it's fine.
Interesting.
I haven't had Josh Scott back on since I noticed that, and so I haven't bitched at him yet. But we'll get it fixed. But grumble, get off my lawn, old man yelling at cloud moment, whatever. But that was one of the things. But I think the compendium is largely exactly what we need. This is the shot in the arm that Flesh and Blood needs in a lot of ways.
Okay, I have a question for you then. Why?
Then bring it.
Why the expletive word are so many people that are collectors pissed about this set? Because I saw all the X posts and all the weird, people arguing that this is going to be the death of the game. Why? I mean, I get the minority of people that were making these like complaints. I haven't seen anything since the card reveals have come out. It sounds like everybody just was instantly naysayed when that happened. But like up until that point, why is it that everybody seems to just focus so heavily on this set was just going to be the doom and gloom of the game? Because, oh dear God, they're reprinting actual cards like Fableds and things that, I don't know, look at any other game that's ever been out. Like, let's
do this easy way.
Okay.
Define a collector for me.
Well, okay. I say there's a couple variations there's a lot of ways you can collect, but I think a collector, I'm going to call myself a collector, wants the card because they want the card, and I don't care if it ever, in my opinion, if I never sell the crack bauble you have, that's mine, right? That's a great example of, I'm going to call it a collector card. Yeah. I guarantee that there are maybe a grand total of 5 people in the world I might have any interest in buying that card at all. Maybe less than that, because it means jack shit to everybody else, without the exception of the fact that I did it to commemorate year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and I think that's the Monarch one, right?
Monarch.
Yeah, so that would be the year 4 of World Tour, and then Tales of Aria would be year 5,
yep.
World Championship.
Yep.
So I have one bauble from every of the first sets, and then that is just for me as a personal weird thing, kind of like the Moxes I used to own. This is my, poor man's Mox. But
now,
go ahead. Sorry.
Great, love that definition. Define investor for me.
Card didn't go up 50%. I'm panicking.
Are the people that are screaming collectors or investors?
It's hard to tell because everyone seems to wear multiple hats. However, based on profiling the people that are discussing, some of them seem like they are more prominent collector or investors. I've noticed that, and I'm not trying to pick on Stackswell here or some other folks that do market videos, but they have all since been basically gone. Those videos that used to come out on like, oh my gosh, the thing is going up and up and up and up and up and up. They've basically disappeared in the last year and a half. Like I don't see people post much, and whether for good or for bad. I had an anecdotal piece of information I sent to you, which was Findale's collection.
That's a good one.
I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I know Alex is. Maybe I need to. But it was very intriguing after saying this.
I don't even get a free subscription. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Well, basically, I ended up having a one of every card in a category, and I had a all commons and rare category. Guess, these people know because they obviously seen this, but if you're the viewer, guess which one went up and which one went down. The one of every high-end rarity card went down by 20%, and the player playset one of every, or actually I think it was like 3 of every common
and rare,
and rare, non-foil, non-fancy went up by like 20% in the last like 6 months to a year. So granted, that percentage gain was not as much as the percentage loss on the other side, even though 20% is 20%.
No, not even close.
It was very interesting to know that, people value the basic play cards to play the game way more than they valued the other stuff. So,
and I think that's so. The 3 C's are always important in card games.
Yep.
Collectors, casual, competitive. Flesh and Blood is very good at 2 of these and real bad at 1.
Yep.
They're better now than they have been in the past, and there's some of that is definitely community drive. You think of the Fab Cube with, Loose Leaf Tea running that, and kind of the onset of that. Like at Worlds, we had I think there were 6 or 7 cubes floating around the event hall at one time.
Y'all were cubing. Big cube in there.
We were cubing hard.
Yeah.
And You can call me Cuban Pete, baby. And so that's kind of become more of a community thing. I think that, and if you think about Magic the Gathering was originally designed as a kitchen table game. It was designed as a casual game and became a competitive game later in life.
Commander really, that was a judge format.
Commander notwithstanding. Commander notwithstanding.
Commander a
that
different
originally
being
like a
entirely.
judge format or something?
Yeah, it was originally called Elder Dragon Highlander and was a judge format. Wizard Tower was the judge format, but Elder Dragon Highlander was the offshoot of 5-color, which were 250 card 5-color decks. Became Elder Dragon Highlander, became Commander. But
gotcha.
Originally, Magic was played for kitchen tables, was played for lunchrooms and schools. That was what Magic was for. It became a competitive game. Flesh and Blood was designed to be a competitive game by somebody who played competitive Magic. Oh God, cards are spilled everywhere because I'm banging my desk. God damn it. If anybody's in need of a bingo or an Arcanite skull cap, they're now readily available on my desk. But the oh shit, now they're gone again. Now it's microprocessor. This is gonna get wild.
No.
Apparently I found an Everfest stack. But the fact of the matter is that this game has always struggled on the casual side because it wasn't designed that way. It was always designed for collectors. It became a haven for investors because of its scarcity at that point. There was a point where alpha cases were going for $30,000.
Yep.
That's insane.
I don't know how they ever got that high.
Well, it's because people were holding and holding and holding and holding, and eventually like, oh, this game is going to reprint staple cards. This isn't going to hold, which is accurate. I mean, there is no reserve list outside of, treatments. There are no sacred cows. That's been proven at this point.
Yeah.
So I think this game still does a really good job of making collectible pieces that people want. And that's awesome. It does not cater to investors really. And that's the difference. And so early on, there were a ton of investors, a ton of people buying Rudy boxes, a ton of people that were pumping tons of money into product because they were hoping for this giant ROI, and some of them realized it. But ultimately, it was always going to become this. And I don't know how that got lost in the sauce, but it did.
This seems the most healthy.
For players, yes.
Are you mad that you're probably one? Like, I have a box. It's like off screen. I'm not going to grab it. It's going to be a fucking mess if I do. It is one of almost every legendary and one of every fabled. I think I'm missing a grand total of like 5 or 10 total cards. My entirety of that, right, is so I could play almost any class I choose. Now with Sage, that is a question of do I even keep it?
And you chose Puffin?
It's Teklovossen wasn't really doing too hot.
You lead a horse to water.
Lead a horse to water. They'll still choose to piss.
They'll still choose a bird.
Hey, I didn't get a baby bird.
You can lead them to water. They'll just choose to crank it, baby.
I did not get a baby bird. I'm very angry about that. Thank you.
Oh God, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. It's.
I opened a pack with a fucking goblin in it, Alex. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you I opened another one of those and I got one of those stupid goblins?
Did you really?
What goblin?
Yes. Jesus Christ.
What goblin?
Go ahead, fill Logan in. Fill him in. Just fucking fill him in.
So Logan, are you aware of the wonderful Magic the Gathering card Mind Goblin?
Of course.
So I hit Jacob with the Mind Goblin yesterday, or last week. And he pulled. He's like, I don't get the concept. And I was like, oh yeah, no, this.
I had a bunch of these laying around, and I opened like more of them, and I found one randomly because we just been going through them.
Jeff's kiss.
You're gonna open a Mind Goblin.
That's it. You can do it.
I mean, that's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, it was great. But also like, so kind of back to like even like the collector thing, like. I see a lot of people who were complaining, strictly because they were just like, oh, my collection, my cold foil alpha stuff is gonna drop in price because they're reprinting Heart and blah blah blah. But like, they're also assuming that they know what the like pull rates are gonna be like for things, for one, and for two, like, you're never gonna get a Heart in cold foil again ever.
Right.
Like, according to the reprint policy, like, that's just what it's gonna be. And it's fine to reprint. Everybody's upset because, I shouldn't say everybody, because they're not everybody.
Definitely not everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely not everybody. But people have been upset because, their initial statement, LSS's initial statement was like, we're going to make cards look worse when we reprint them. So that way they don't, that's the whole white border situation, right? Like, we're going to make cards look worse because that way it's like, these are play pieces. It's not about looks, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they got to sell product. Like, they got to sell stuff. And let me tell you, if you're a new player and you're taking a look at Compendium and you're like, oh yeah, hundreds of dollars that I could open if I just get like a box. Sure, you're still gambling, but odds are, like, you have a lot of good staples in there, and it's a expansion set. So you get stuff for any of your classes. Like, it's not that it's a bad thing to pick up. And frankly, if people are worried about the prices of their cards going up or down, those are investors who probably collect. But at the end of the day, if that's what they care about more, is the amount of money that they are going to get in 10 years when they're like, oh, this is it, right? Like, finally, 10 years from now, Flesh and Blood has taken over the top spot over Magic, and all of my cards are worth, 500x whatever they were supposed to be. It's going to be insane. And then they sell out. Were they ever really a fan of Flesh and Blood, or were they just in it for the money? So
well, I mean, okay. So my Kasai deck, all of the equipment is cold foil, except for the null rune, because I like the Dutch null rune because the clogs are hilarious and the little bonnet is funny.
That's
I'm
cute.
into that. Everything else is at least foil. If it's extended art, it's already extended art. And I'm working on getting. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the base equipment is all graded. It is a work of art at this point. And if I ever sell it, it will be because it is 500x, and I can build the deck with the non-pretty versions that I also own. So
well, here's something interesting. It's a kind of a conundrum of the investor / collector, right? If the compendium boxes are retailing for $140, but I think I'm seeing them about $130 on average, right? 120. Okay,
yeah, 120
wow,
is there.
120. Okay, that's
120 is UPP.
Even more interesting. All of these cards, most of them, Crown of Providence, Balance of Justice, Tunic, well, now Tunic's about around $100. Every single one of these, except these two cards, that you have a chance of in just that one pack, barring anything else you get in the entire pack, damn near could pay for the entire box.
Well, here's a fun game though.
Okay,
go ahead, ask your question. Then I want to do a fun game. I want to do a fun.
I was going to ask, because I think, again, I watch a lot of content, but Rudy had pointed out, why would a store, hopefully they are going to sell these, right? But why would a store opt to even sell these versus opening them and just selling the singles if the singles are that expensive? And that's the weird conundrum that I'm curious about, because, hopefully this is printed to the moon and back, and there is so much of this that we can't see straight. Like, that's what I hope.
You want to know the real answer?
What?
It's because the number of stores that sell Flesh and Blood singles is very low.
Mm-hmm. Still to this day. That's what, like, I mean, people will get into stores will get into fab, and they'll go, okay, I see my neighbor is doing Flesh and Blood stuff. Maybe I need to get in on this train. And they buy sealed boxes, and they go, okay, cool, I'm just going to sit on these sealed boxes.
Right.
The money's in open the packs. Like, players want to play with the cards. And so those sell very well on the market, and it allows you to essentially make the money on doing that. So opening up a box makes more sense than sitting there and holding it sealed for any reason, like, sure, you can sell them sealed, right? If obviously if you have an LGS, like sell boxes if you've got them. But I mean, stores should be opening up more boxes. That's the thing I see more frequently is people are sitting with Part the Mistveil on their shelves and Heavy Hitters on their shelves and Uprising on their shelves, and nobody's buying it. And they go, oh, well, nobody's buying it. I guess Flesh and Blood must be dead. And it's like, no, just crack them open. People want the cards inside. They just don't want to gamble for them. So that is how it is. And yeah, 6 years in, and we still just have like Min-Max and Fab Foundry and like a very, very small smattering of like, Nerd Rage, like tons of like, it's certainly evolving, but it's like maybe 1 to 2 stores a year that are like, that's a notable name in the world of Flesh and Blood. Outside of that, it's like, if every one of the LGSs within a 20-mile radius of you decided to open up their Flesh and Blood product instead of just holding on to it for whatever reason, they might get more traction in that. But it's not about like, this needs to be more, right? That's why, like, people like Hamal from Hammurabi TCG like does very well in doing it, because just open up a bunch of product and sell the singles, gets the work done. Yeah, absolutely, all the time.
Tyler or Righteous Gaming, I know he's been traveling quite a bit. I think he took a hiatus.
Oh yeah,
for
Righteous
personal
has been
reasons, but
lately.
he's back at it, I think. So
Yep, like I said, Tyler's been at most events that I've been at recently. Min-Max has been at everything I've been at. Nerd Rage has been everything I've been at. Nerd Rage was in London last year and has basically made every event going forward. Norman's even, they're setting up events now. They basically have a secret Battle Hardened that is happening in March. Like, they're really going for it as far as that goes to offer more things. AGE is doing insane work to partner with stores and get that going. There's a lot going on. It's just in a market where product has not been readily available. We've all experienced that at this point, especially with Rosetta, Hunted, into High Seas. Super Slams have been pretty good though.
Yeah.
That became I think if you were that for a lot of stores, that was probably going to be the onboarding point for singles, and they couldn't get product. I know that's when it's happened at our LGSs, like that literally in all of the Des Moines LGSs, that happened where we were in conversations with all of them to crack products, start selling singles so the player base can get satisfied with their needs and yada yada. And then it's like, we'd love to, but we can't get product. And it's like, well, that ship just sailed. We can't do shit. So it's going to stay at the status quo, and they just don't have singles. So it's all going to be sealed. So you're going to be able to find the Antiquities packs by buying a box. And our LGSs are super good about things like if they crack a box to sell packs and has the Antiquities pack in it, it's going to be a random giveaway at an armory.
Right.
Like, they're not going to hang on to it.
I can hope that'll be something happen. We, not to poo-poo on our LGS too much, because, I do appreciate what he's doing, but I think when we had the pre-release, there were like 3 gold packs from from High Seas, and they didn't get given out. So I don't know. One of these days they'll be used for something, I guess. But it's just kind of like now it's way later down the road, and it's like I don't know. It's like, what are we gonna do with them? At least with these, they fixed the whole Mistveil thing, because the Mistveil boxes were weighable. If people don't know that, you should. That was something I discovered very early on. And there's just, the High Seas, everyone gets one, and Compendium, it sounds like that's going to be maybe a go forward. I don't know if every set's going to do one of these, but Super Slam did not. But
it's probably going to be a thing in a lot of instances, but this is the sort of the box topper replacement in a way.
Yeah, and it's a great way to do it too. I mean, I like that they've made it to where there's still that feeling of rarity for the Fableds, because you can't find the Fableds in the main set. They're only in those Antiquity packs. And so, you can still pull Tunic and Command and Conquer and everything inside the set. But if you want this super shiny rainbow foil extended art version of it, it's in the Antiquities pack.
What I really want is a cold foil Vestige of Flagellation.
Because... you'll get it. You'll get it along with you'll get 3 copies of it in your box.
Perfect. That's all I want.
So, what do we think the
Golly.
last? I guess switching kind of to the set itself, compendium. I want to hear from each of you. What do you think a really good aspect of the set is? A really negative aspect of the set, if there is one, and something you'd want to see improved.
Well, first, I want to do an exercise really quick. If you're a game, I
Sure.
want to go down to the antiquities packs,
Okay.
the antiquities cards, and one by one, I want us to give our opinions of is the new art better or worse.
Ah, okay. Let me.
We can do it with all the reprints, honestly.
You can disappear. All right. Hard to find out.
I'm going to
I think
say
it looks better.
I'm going to say
Yep.
better.
This to me, I would
Agreed.
rather own this. And keep in mind, somewhere in my box of crap, I have a graded quad 9.5 version of an unlimited because I just lucked into getting one. And I would rather get rid of that and get one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this looks great, honestly.
I love this.
So
Give me 10 copies. I want them all. This is
the difference in this is pretty subtle if you look at the two arts side by side. It's a little more twilling on the bottom, and the gem is a little pronounced in the bottom.
it's the framing. It's this 3/4 framing.
Yeah,
that's what I care about.
That's the big part. So the aquarium, if you're into the aquarium look versus the sort of oasis look, then I can see that. I think this one's a mixed bag for me. I think it's either or. I wouldn't have a preference.
Yeah.
The only reason I would want this is because I enjoy the 3/4 frame. That's the only reason I would enjoy that.
Worse. Out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely a big fan of it. I thought I was initially, and again, it just kind of comes down to like the micro text box frame does really look good, but it like, you know,
Something's off with
I
the
think
art.
that there's a lot more that could have been done to this, and instead they're just like, oh, mermaids, and I'm like, all right, sure, but
This
like,
doesn't scream
I
what,
prefer the necklace as a riches type of thing to this big fuck off compass thing. Like,
yeah, because it also I think that is kind of the thing too, right? Is like, if you consider this from like a sizing perspective on the card, like this Riches of Tropeldani looks like it would be like a large like shield-esque thing, as opposed to what would be an amulet that we know previously of riches. So yeah,
not on this one. Worse. I prefer the original Balance of Justice. I like
this one a lot, actually.
Like
it is. I'm indifferent. But I do like this one a lot better. Like as far as like from the aspect of the lighting and everything, knowing it's at least the same individual, we get to see a little bit more of like the character themselves. But
I like
the detail in the original is so crazy good, though.
Yeah.
Like, the hair is tossed.
Quick side note. I don't own a Tropel. I don't own a Balance. I do own a Crown. I do own a Tunic. I don't own a Stonewall.
I own all this shit. Whatever.
I don't own a Quick Dodge. So there are so many cards in this set that I need because I never pulled them, even though I opened an F ton of just like heavy hitters. I never got a single one of these damn cards. It's so annoying. Anyways, Crown of Providence.
I don't love this one. Like this one is not better to me.
Do you know in Magic the Gathering when they did the I think it's called Strixhaven set, they did like the Japanese version of Diabolic
This
Tutor,
kind of looks like that.
Yeah, the archives.
This is when I first saw the archives. This is the very when I saw this, that's the first thing that went through my mind is this is basically like one of those cards.
Again, the detail on like a Crown of Providence, like from Uprising, is so intricate. Like
I got a cold foil one of those sitting over there. So yeah.
Oh, I do
not
too.
This one.
It's in my cube.
This
worse.
is very interesting.
I just don't think it's as good. I don't like the more I guess anime polish of it.
Yeah, it does kind of like, I don't know, there's a like the word I want to use is like it looks too smooth.
Yeah,
that was what I was gonna. Yeah. The face profile on this looks very much like some tweeny bopper went to a concert.
Yeah, right. And like if you look at the original tunic, like the brocading and the dress is the dress looks like, a real dress, right?
Mhm.
Whereas this,
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Is that I think a big thing about some of the more original like arts is that it's about the physical like clothing that is the equipment, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like it's a lot more just like, okay, this is the entire being as the character, who's wearing the tunic. Same even with Crown. Like Crown is showing an entire person, like a whole bust of a person, as opposed to it just being this is a picture of the crown that would be worn in, if you were to wear it, right, kind of deal.
Fun fact: this is the exact same art.
Actually, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just 3/4 framed instead. That's it.
Uh-huh.
It's the same art.
I'd rather.
Yeah,
it's just in a fist. It's just in a fist instead of like the fingers extended.
No, the fingers aren't extended in the one from. Is it right? Like the.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Uh-huh.
It's like it looks just basically, corporate wants you to identify the difference in these pictures, and it's just like.
Yeah, these are the same picture.
Yeah, whatever. I'm good. And besides, who doesn't want to get fisted?
It's
like
Thanos.
Right? Who's out here trying to get fisted?
Yeah, I'm here to get Thanos snapped, baby. This is worse by miles. By utter miles, this is worse.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose this like yellow brick road.
This gives me no sense of dodging. This is like the Tin Man in the sci-fi version of Wizard of Oz walking down the broken fucking yellow brick road.
Yeah, it's like Aurora got some new kicks and was just like, let's show them off to my friends. You know what I'm saying?
Closer to lightning greaves than it does to quick dodge flexors.
Correct.
No.
I'm not a fan of this one. And you'll notice this one did not get the 3/4 treatment.
That is true.
Why?
Well, because you're going to micro text box that?
Too big a
that's crazy.
How are you going to put that in the micro?
Yeah. How are you micro text boxing that? That's nuts.
This is pure. I think that this is the most.
This card will come out of the gate as one of the most expensive cards in this set. I guarantee it.
And that'll drop.
Every Leviathan stan wants this version.
Yeah.
Every Shadow stan wants this version.
It is very subjective to the art. I mean, really, and I mean, it's like that obviously with everything, but like at the end of the day, like this is for sure like, oh, did you not like I am a commander of an army and I'm simply just commanding my beings to go out and conquer? This is like, yeah, this is an absolutely insane interdimensional being just being like, yeah, go my army of shadow, destroy Solana. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. I mean, just like this on a mat would go so hard. And I think that is what is going to drive the price of this card. But that also then means that people are going to be selling their copies of Command and Conquer to purchase this version, which means that in tune, Science will go down again, which is sick.
This is less fun to me.
But my little birds.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent about this one. I don't really. I like the other one because it had a dog. Where's the dog?
This one is,
or was it a cat?
Interesting because I think it's trying to show more of this like sea component, but it doesn't. I mean, let's put it this way: up until like a few days ago. 1 second. Let me go back to full screen. So this will make sense.
Eventually, it's going to make sense, Alex. He promises.
Yeah, one of these days, I swear. I swear,
didn't own any
it's going to make sense.
Oh wait, hold on. No flag. There. Am I back?
Holding. Jesus Christ!
I'm holding so hard right now.
I didn't own any Shelter of the Storms until, well, I got lucky. So I got a couple, but I didn't own any. These are all Japanese, by the way. So.
Yeah, I own 4 English and 3 Japanese.
Yeah, I just have my 3 English non-foils and my 1 extended art rainbow foil.
And I guess the question really boils down to is, again, if I focus on Sage, this card means nothing to me because it can't be
Oh, for
played
sure.
as Sage. But
But it
what
can
I'm
get you like
discovering-
3 Sage decks.
Yeah, you can get you some bling for your Sage deck.
Yeah.
Correct. I do think something else, and that kind of maybe will lead into another fun. Unless you have anything further to say about any of these.
No.
cards.
I
know
just
that-
wanted to like kind of go through the reprints and be like, you do Enlightened Strike too, and it's like, it's a dude with a plunger.
Yeah, like it
My-
definitely
my
is one of those
guy-
things where art is always all the time a subjective thing.
It's
And-
Jason Momoa with white hair plunging a very very stuffed toilet.
It's really
The
just
extent-
like, oh, cool. They said, hey, E-Strike, let me get you from the angle over here instead of this angle. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So like nothing is different. It's like, no, we're
No.
still
I will-
Enlightened Strike is still the same cloud guy.
I will also say I did not actually expect that the cards would be in the core set. I thought they would only be in the Antiquities pack. So the fact that these exist in the core set, Balance, Crown, Tunic, Gauntlet,
Mhm.
and Quick Dodge, and then you
Everything but the
also have
Fableds, right?
Yeah, everything but the
Well,
Fableds.
yeah, all of these are the legendaries in the set because aren't there 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yep.
7, 8? That's all 8 of them.
Yep.
Which
Mhm.
also makes sense because generics can be used by any class, which is the only way to really make a legendary worth pulling in a complete classless, set. But baby, we got dwarves. I think is this dwarves? Like this is like the second or third time
There've
they've
been
taunted
dwarves.
us.
It's been dwarves
They've
for a
been
while.
dwarves since- they've
I
been
know,
dwarves
but
since
what I'm
Mock.
saying is we still don't have a dwarf, but we got like the trot along dude, and we got the underground.
Oh, we'll
you know,
visit Anvilheim soon enough. It'll
Yeah,
happen.
Homeboy on Belittle, yeah.
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 We'll get there. I mean, that's exactly it. It's the thing that LSS often does is they sprinkle in some character art into things. I mean, look, like if you, I don't mean you as a mech head would know, Fast and Furious, the gorilla with the mech
Yep.
fist and
Yep.
blue hair, like Isur's fucking awesome art. Now a different artist doing the same characters is also
It's this.
in the same
Yours
set.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Eh.
it's they're recurring. So is it like, okay, are they going to be a mechanologist later? I think everybody wants them to be. So
A
We
gorilla
see that a lot.
mechanologist would be sick.
that would be crazy.
I need a
Construct a
dwarf.
gorilla.
I need Dwarf
Cons-
Warrior to be the first real axe warrior.
Well, you want a real axe warrior. Well, let me tell you.
Fuck off.
I gotta see. We gotta get this game on camera, and then we gotta commentate.
Nah,
on it.
look,
Like,
doesn't want to play that.
All right, so here's my 3 questions. I want to hear what you think Sage did the best. I want to hear from both of you one thing you feel Sage did the best. So Alex, go first.
One thing I think Sage did the best is touch on archetypes that needed help, because, I mean, it not even just in Classic Constructed. I'm talking like budget specific stuff. As somebody who's played a lot of Commoner in the past, you take a look at Arachne, the very first assassin who has never had any outlet for silver, now has an outlet for silver. They're hitting on other archetypes such as gaining power in individual increments instead of just one big increment. They've allowed for new decompose cards for Earth heroes, more specifically for Florian and Verdance. And they've added a ton of new support for a bunch of these heroes. Sure, it's not like every hero, right? Because that's 58 heroes are legal in Silver Age. 57. RIP chain.
57, sir.
57.
57. But I think really that's what it did. This felt far more like what I wanted it to feel like, which was Everfest, than what Dusk Till Dawn was, which was not great for anybody who didn't like Light and Shadow, and it still wasn't even that great for them either. So
Alex, or I should say Logan.
I'm
Sorry.
Logan, by the
Now,
way.
that's
Yeah.
Logan.
I'm the one that's been drinking the entire time. But I think it's actually something I hadn't thought about until you brought it up, and I had to slap it out of you a little bit, which is it does introduce new players who are just coming to the game because of Sage to keywords they would have never seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things in here that they just wouldn't understand how it works, like Quell. Like how many people have like encountered Quell since, Uprising, right?
Yeah.
And that's new.
Well, it's old, but it's now new again.
It's now new again. It's like they get to see what some of these keywords that haven't been around in a while, Mirage, Phantasm, all these things that they haven't necessarily interacted with. They now open the card and go, oh, what does that do? And this kind of gives them an introduction into a piece of the game that they wouldn't have been familiar with if they're just newer. So I think that does it really well.
Apparently, if I move my mouse, my little slow scroll thing goes for a conniption fit. Okay, good to know. So the second question, which I want to come back to pack structure, because that's a question nobody's really talked about. I want to talk about what our theory on pack structure is going to be. But what is one thing you feel maybe was not done as eloquently, or maybe might need improvement with this set, and there may not be something at this stage, but I'll say, as an example, my thing I was curious about is why, I understand now in post-mortem what happened, but why we didn't get some of the cards that were supposedly in the Sage pre-constructed decks in the main set, which basically means that the only option for a new player, if they want to play that max deck, is go find all the old singles, or buy that max deck, or buy that dash deck, or buy that, whatever deck. And there's still exclusive cards that are not really easy to come by that I kind of somewhat might have expected to be in here. But this is really, they're outside of the reprints that are those higher tier ones. This is like 95% new cards in this set.
Yeah. I think that I'm kind of inverse of you in that thought, where I felt like the decks being 99, or 50 or 90% or 95%, whatever it is, old cards was the miss.
Mm-hmm.
Where I thought that they were going to be bigger. Like I thought that it was going to be a real tuned deck with Silver Age cards, a fully upgraded version of a thing. And
but then how are they going to sell product?
Well, right, but that's sort of what the marketing pointed towards.
Yes.
With the discussions that the dev talks and stuff like that, and then it was like, no. We were saying that they'd be out of the box playable. It's like, no, you said they would be tuned and you could win a calling with them. Which, granted, if you handed one of these to the best player in the world, they might be able to win a calling, with one of them, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But your everyday person that's going to go, you know what? I don't have a Sage deck, but not to worry. I have $20 and a vendor. I have a deck ready for me that's going to be solid and ready to go. Not true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a miss, and I think that could have been fixed by having more of the compendium cards in those decks. But it's exactly correct. Like the why of it is easy. You want to sell boxes of compendium. Like that just makes sense. So I get the why. It's just more of to me, it was a little bit of a miss because of how that all works out. Plus, shit's not draftable, which always makes me mad.
Alex, what you got?
It's pretty much along the same lines. I made a whole rant video talking about how the marketing for the Sage decks, precons specifically, because I don't really have a big issue with the set of Compendium of Wraith. It's really the precons could have been better. I think all enfranchised players can look at these decks and go, these could have been better. Now, did I want them to be like 75% new cards from Compendium of Wraith? No, because technically that would mean that then the only cards printed in pen are cards for these heroes, and there's like specific types. For instance, for Dory, they printed all the sharpened stuff, which was supposed to kind of be for Hala and also in a way Dory, but none of the sharpened stuff made it into the precon. and what that unfortunately does is two things, right? It either says that they just like forgot, right? And that this is, they were just like, oh, let's just make sure that they open it up in their pack of Compendium of Wraith that they get when they buy the $20 deck. Or it means that the cards that they printed in pen were not good enough to put into the deck, which is very scary when you're trying to sell product, right? It's to not advertise it in the pre-con is a miss entirely, because that is your selling point, right? Regardless of, you don't want people to go online and have to worry about building a deck, right? It's fine that a lot of those older cards are in there because they're staples that a lot of new players don't have. Getting copies of Run Through does cost you about $5. Getting copies of Run Roughshod, you'd have to buy. Yeah, I think they're like $5.
Some of these cards from these pre-cons are stupid expensive. Yeah.
But that's the thing, is it's like 2 cards in these pre-cons that are expensive, being they're about $5, which costs most of the deck. So in theory, right, they are cards that are more expensive than 25 cents. But the real thing about the pre-cons is that you don't have to worry about deck building, right? A new player who has never played Flesh and Blood or any TCG, probably for that matter, does not want to get into the intricacies of pitch value and your cost curve or any of that. They want a deck that you can pull out of the box and play with your friends, and that's a good concept. The issue is that Flesh and Blood is a very competitive game. These decks were, according to LSS, built to be competitive. So that's what their use is. It's not like a casual thing in which you get to pick up a deck, right? The Blitz decks were almost akin to that, I would say, is they're just, those pre-cons were great for you to just play in set heroes against one another. And then if you wanted to upgrade those decks, you can buy the actual set they're from. And that was a little bit of an easy upgrade. In this one here, they provided you with a lot of stuff, but there's not a Gravy Bones deck. So what happens if somebody wants to play Gravy Bones in Sage? They still have to go buy all the cards,
I can do this one. They get boned.
Hey, there it is.
Okay, so walk with me on this theory or idea here.
Uh-huh.
So with this set, another doom thing I saw online is that if this set does bad, the game, is destined for the rubbish pile, which I disagree with wholeheartedly. I'm sure most of you probably also as well. But
how many people said that? How many people said that? 2?
Is that something that was on Trump's Twitter?
Right.
What are we at here?
Where's I guess as far as the amount of people who are saying it, is it one on Reddit? And 2, is it specifically 4 people who are just circle jerking each other to the thought of Fab never being a game again?
You know what? I'm never giving you shit again, because the Reddit circle jerk is exactly what I want to hear out of somebody's mouth at all points in time.
There it is. The Reddit circle jerk. I've been on the internet long enough. I know what it is.
Why I'm even postulating this question is because I find it wild that for a set that seems to have given damn near everything the kitchen sink could offer and more, Billy Mays style, but wait, there's more. There is so much
and cocaine.
Sorry, there's so much to offer here.
Not soon enough.
There's just so many cards that are going to change so many archetypes and so many formulas within. I mean, there were obviously Sage is the focus of this, but there's still Majestics in here. That's going to impact CC. Technically, if you really wanted to play with Blitz, these could also change Singleton and Blitz and make it interesting. You could still use these in UPF. Some of these do look UPF-ish. There's a freaking Bard card in here. We didn't get a Bard. So my only question really is, why did we get no heroes? And I know that we're skipping a period of time, but what does that mean for folks like the Emperor and Yogi and Enigma and these ones that, Melody, I think, is another one that just cannot be currently played? What do you think will happen? Will we get them, or are they just destined now for nothing? That would be something I'd be curious to get your thoughts on.
I'm very surprised
Or Shiana.
we didn't. Yeah, well, we got a Shiana specialization and no Shiana, but
Mhm.
I'm very surprised about two in particular things that I thought would be in this set. The first, and they are both heroes, and they are Blaze and Dorinthia Quicksilver Prodigy.
Hmm.
I felt like both of those things, both of those heroes belonged in Silver Age.
Mhm.
Neither of them is too much for Silver Age by any stretch of the imagination. And you even printed opt cards if you're Wizard
Yeah.
in Silver Age, in the rare slot, right? These are Blaze cards.
Yep.
That does lead me to believe that the mastery packs this year are going to be Wizard and Warrior. And also that when we finally get to whatever the set's going to be that gives us new Aurora, that's where Adult Terra will be. So
What about these 334 to 338? I mean, what are the? I mean, I know they're probably maybe marvels, but is there any chance in hell that these are heroes?
I think they're tokens.
if they're tokens, it could, because they'd be basic rarity, right? But
Right.
historically,
But
it wouldn't make sense.
In the guide, though, there is no B rarity in this set. According to it, just says comments like that's the pack composition question that I talked about
Right,
earlier.
right,
There
right.
doesn't seem to be any Bs for basic that it talked about.
Well, so my understanding of the pack composition, to push into that, is that there are, according to the documentation on the product sheet, there will be 5 commons, and then there will be 3 rare slots, in which one of them could be a majestic or higher, and then you have whatever slots behind that, right? Because there's 9 cards in a pack. So if 8 of them are guaranteed those things, in that rare slot, is that where they're putting a rainbow foil? Or is the rainbow foil the 9th card, right? Because if it's the 9th card, then there won't be tokens, right? I mean, I'm always one for a good little bit of speculation, but I'm never going to be like, okay, it's got to be in the set, right? Blaze has got to be in the set. I think that until we know every single card that's printed in the set, it's always fine to just kind of be like, cool, what if it does happen, right?
It's Schrodinger's Blaze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schrodinger's Blaze, exactly. It's just like, yeah, could it be in there? Awesome, right? I mean, shoot, they kept an entire hero and class from us from High Seas until the pre-release, until the premiere. The premiere, they came out, they were just like, oh, here's Scurv. Bet you didn't see that coming. And it was like, what?
Here's this entire hero you can draft. Have fun.
Yeah. It's just like, I think that there's definitely an opportunity to do more, right? But I think I can't remember what I was talking about after that. Brain dead.
And I'm the one that's been drinking.
Yeah.
You have to, so looking at this configuration, it's 348 cards in a set, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a
huge.
big, it's a big boy. And it's 142 commons. So if you do quick math, there are 5 commons per pack, 120 commons per box. You take that times 4, it's 480. It's going to be a stretch to make sure you have a play set of commons coming out of a case.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. But so you have 142 commons, 124 rare, which are 3 per pack, or 2 plus 1. There's always 2 rares.
Right.
And then there's a rare, majestic, legendary, or marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They increased the cold foil rate, so there's 3 cold foils per box, replacing a rare. So I think that this is going to be the hardest set so far to collect.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
who
seem
knows
by
how many
accident.
cold foils variations there are, like total, because
As long as
I'd
there's
imagine
vestige of flagellation, we're fine.
I imagine all the equipment is coming in cold foil.
Yeah.
So like at least, and then of course there's a few marvels. We know the Evo base or the Evo beta set for Teklo is Marvel. We know that the Sigil of Sylphidae is Marvel. You know, there's 23 marvels.
23 of them.
Yeah, like that's a lot of marvels. But like, you know, at the end of the day, collecting it is going to certainly be a lot if you're trying to do like a big master set of it. But if you're just looking for the cards you need for your specifically the class you want to play, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Much at all,
So
right? And now he's
there
staring
it
at
is.
the vestige of flagellation. There it is.
Ah,
Look at that.
beautiful.
Look at that.
What a
beauty.
card. What a card.
What a thing of beauty.
I will say
That's-
it is every class have equal amounts of rares and commons? Because I did feel like mechanologists seem to have a lot more rares I have to get than
Mech
commons.
got a
Like,
lot.
We got a majestic, and then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, gloat about it,
12
why don't you?
12 rares, but only
still
6 commons.
And you still got wrench attacks. Come on.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
I look at the new Teklo and think he got cyberpunked. He definitely looked like he got Cyberpunk 2077.
Now this bitch thinks he's Iron Man.
Yeah, that's his I built this in a cave era.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Taylor Swift's next album.
So we know his favorite's flatulation. Alex, what about yourself? What
My
What's your
favorite
favorite
card in
artwork?
Sage or in
Favorite
Sage
artwork.
fucking pen?
that was favorite art.
Favorite art. Oh God. Probably. Hold on. Let me do a quick search because I don't have it deep in my brain.
there were less.
Favorite
I think
art. His.
while he's searching.
I don't know.
there
I really
were,
like the Graven stuff is pretty sick.
Oh, just look at any of the chaos cards. They're all insane.
Yeah,
Graven.
those are crazy.
I think I tried to
Gra-
count it up. I've only counted about 20 or maybe 30 with flavor text, but they at least still have flavor text. That was kind of nice.
Crown of Everbloom is also easily one of the most
It's really good.
beautiful cards. Like,
Also,
that is-
I have to ask. These came out today. What
Okay.
the actual?
Okay.
all
hell?
right, hold on, Jacob. Before you even start talking, what are you about to say? Because
What?
Uh,
Okay, obviously I've hit a note. Logan, what you got?
So we decided to have the clan ghost. Is that what we're
yeah,
calling it here? We're using a derogatory term used in the Deep South in that era,
Uh-huh.
in a very unsavory era towards African Americans. And also, the standard ghost look, which looks like a white robe with a pointy hat, kind of. Can we not? Can we just not?
Yeah, I think this
Can I
was-
be a weirdo for a second? Until
You
you
were-
said
oh, buddy,
that,
started
you're
that way,
already.
you're
It's
gonna-
we're already there,
My
dude.
guy, yeah.
until you even said that, I just looked at this card and I did not correlate any of that because I guess I just didn't know the keywords because I've never really heard that, I guess.
My
but,
guy, I'm a Gen X redneck.
This is
It's not coming past me.
it's a learning
Well,
experience.
I looked at this card and I said, when the hell did we get Scooby-Doo and the fucking Gang of Mary? Oh, wait, we already did because we got the
Scuba.
Scooby.
That one.
Yeah, no.
You're already there. We're already chasing ghosts.
And this is like,
Oh, then
Hell yeah?
I made sure to point out that at least its name is Boo and not Booberry, so we know that James wasn't naming stuff while he's walking through a grocery store aisle again.
Boo Berry.
Gravy Bones. Wow, what a cool name for a hero that's just
Literally dog treats.
the
Literally
most
pet
terrifying pirate in all of the high seas. Let's name them after a dog treat. Why not? Right? Let's just.
dogs. Why not?
This is a
Holy-
very weird card to me. I don't know. I don't know why we keep getting more Necromancer allies. I mean, I guess it's cool.
Clearly, the
It's
class
different.
isn't doing well.
Yeah, class is bad. Don't you know? They need all the support they can get. Golly.
They're trying to create deck tension so that people will make mistakes and put the wrong ones in, and that will solve the problem.
Golden
Yep.
ratio.
Sure. You got it. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Also, can we just talk about hyperinflation for a minute?
I love hyperinflation. Oh my god.
What
My
a
guy-
card of all time.
My guy with either mustache or tentacles, whatever the fuck it is, coming up under a plague doctor mask, doing gill toss at people who are just like screaming with with their heads exploding. It's
I love that
What
it was
class
just
is
like
that
art
underneath?
direction, go crazy.
What class was that?
art
I
direction.
remember.
America. It's chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's the chaos
So
one
it-
down here.
there it is right there. Hyperinflation.
babe.
Do me a favor, don't ever Google that.
Yeah, whatever you do.
Don't ever Google that.
Yeah, this shit is wildin'. Like,
what a fun
what
card.
Are we even doing?
What a fun looking card.
I bet
think
you
that's
this
it's
is gonna
definitely
be
up there
one
with
of
my
those-
favorites. Arts
The
just like it's
rainbow
fun.
foil of this is going to be really sick.
Ooh,
And then also just
it
read the
probably
flavor
is.
text. Just read the flavor
Yeah.
text. It's so good.
We shall inoculate
Inoculate.
the world against the disease of complacency. Doctrine of La Apocalyptica.
God, I cannot wait till we get a L'Apocalyptica like story arc. It's
Sure.
all I'm waiting for. It's all I'm waiting for.
It's gonna be wonderful.
This
I
is
cannot
also
wait.
freaking ridiculous.
Tough as rock.
Rock mentioned.
And
Big
there was
rock.
another. What was the other one that was like a power equal to, or like it was your base, your power of the card is equal
Doubling
to the base of
season.
the weapon.
Or no, doubling season.
Oh
This.
no, you're thinking of Rockyard Rodeo.
Rockyard Rodeo
This seems ridiculously fun.
with rock.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun
Oh.
cards. I mean, I think, like I said, I think the set did incredibly
This.
well.
There's
Mhm.
enough anti. Oh yeah, so that's the other quick thing. There was a card that had the remove. Oh my gosh, what was it? It was a spoiler for remove energy counter. Yeah, this one. This is wild.
High current
This
currency.
is
Tunic.
this is. It's a generic.
This card- This
Wild.
card-
Tunic on 2. I have 2 gold.
Yeah. Get 2 gold. But also get 2 gold, lose your action. I mean, I guess if you're just gonna end your turn on it, but
I don't have to care if I'm puffing and I have crank twice.
That's true.
yeah.
He's been cranking
Can I?
and banking.
Hey, now here's another question. Can I do it to my fucking self? Is this the secret tech puffin
And
needed to make
opponent
gold?
control.
Target
It definitely says-
non-hero permanent to an opponent
and
controls.
opponent
So
controls. You can't do
Yeah.
it to yourself.
Dang it. I was hoping I could do it to myself. Then I realized
They're
I can't.
never going to let Kasai have that much fun.
no. Yeah, what are you talking about? 3 tuna counters? Yeah, I'll just make gold.
Yeah,
That's
my
the-
gold.
The most value a tuna counters ever given to Kasai.
It's true.
That'd be
'Cause
nuts.
Tunic is shit. The other one is Lobotomy. If you haven't seen that card,
Yeah,
dear
lobotomy's
God.
cool. My
That
gosh.
card is wild.
Telling
That's
you,
an
the assassin
assassin
cards
card?
did pretty good. Yeah.
That's an assassin card. The assassins ate good. The guardians ate good.
Mhm.
Prism always eats good. It never doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Never doesn't.
It gets really annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the like what a crazy concept of a card. And I mean that's I think if I remember correctly, I think that's Arachne when they're solitary confinement when
is
they're
this
being
like the 10th card
worked on.
that has been officially named after a magic card? Like it's because isn't this also a
Maybe
MTG
in
card?
this set.
yeah, there's a ton. There's so
Doubling
many.
season, lobotomy, Ren Flesh. Christ, do I need to go through all of it? Like, I don't do that.
Yes, please, Logan, name every single Magic the Gathering card.
I can't name all of them, but I can pretty much name all of these cards that have a magic card as well.
By the way, this Blutton card, our locals are going insane over this.
It's good.
Really? It's a good. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a good card. I love
Because
seeing it on
going
top of my
against-
opponent's
we
deck
have
when
a
I
lot
have
of-
hunted.
We got a lot of ninjas, so like Kadachi, second Kadachi. Here you go, discard a card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. It'd be a shame if it got put in your arsenal by a Schism of Chaos.
That's true. That's very true.
Oh
thousand
God!
wins become the bottle.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think Reviled also did like a ton of good stuff with this set too. Reviled's got a lot of really cool things.
Seeing 6 cards, 7 cards.
Logan, one
in
last
this
question
set
for
that are
you.
named after magic cards. 8 cards.
Why did we not see? And I was hoping for it, but we still have yet
9
to
cards.
get a generic weapon other than Talishar. Why will we ever see something that's going to be generic? This would have been the perfect opportunity to give the flexibility. And here, let me explain my theory on this. it doesn't have to be a good weapon. Obviously, it probably shouldn't be, because then it'd be too meta. But the option of having a weapon for every hero that can sit at the table and you don't always know what the weapon someone's going to be is, because right now certain heroes have like the weapon they're going to use, but with adding a generic in the mix, you could have a build that uses something that, or an off meta hero, like something that you're going to play that does not necessarily follow the I have to use this. Like I could have Puffin with a bludgeoning stick. I don't know, whatever, you know, just a log.
Yeah, this comes into the use case scenarios, right? So I think that the common theory here is in most heroes, I mean, I would say the vast majority of heroes, it would either be too busted and need to be banned, or just unplayable. And if those are your two use cases, why print it?
Right.
There's no point in printing that card. And I think that that's the normal use case. Now, if they do a Shiana, like my guess is that it will have to have the weapon will have to be a Shiana specialization or a shapeshifter weapon. Because for that reason, again, it's the same concept as like when you unban cards, right? If you're looking at a card and go, okay, what are my use cases from banning it? Well, it either breaks the format or it doesn't make it into a deck. Why unban it then? What's the point?
Yeah,
And
I also think
it's the same thing with printing a generic weapon.
Yeah, I think something to also your point is that you're only really like across from your opponent and you're like, oh, well, obviously they're on Talishar, is when you're playing a hero that doesn't have literally any other weapon to play, like a merchant or a bard. Well, a bard has a weapon, but like, you know, if you're talking like something that just genuinely adjudicator, whatever, like that is the only time you're going to be like, yeah, of course they're on Talishar. What the hell would they be on?
There's only two weapons that Shiana can play. It's either Flail or Talishar. That's it.
Yep, exactly. And I think the other thing to kind of counter your point there, Jacob, is there's an individual who is playing Lexi in, I believe it was CC or Blitz, I can't remember which one it was, who actively would play Talishar instead of a bow.
Jesse Harper.
Yes. Jesse. Was it Blitz or CC?
Both.
It was both, right? Okay, so, and that was the thing, right? You never knew, because you go across your opponent, they have one card face down, and it's like, okay, sure, like what they're probably on, Voltaire, right? Obviously. And they flip over Talishar and you're like, what in the world is happening? So it's not that there isn't a weapon that would be like, oh, cool, it's the gotcha moment, because obviously it's like, whatever. You can play Talishar in anyone. People were playing Talishar in Zen. People were playing Talishar in Verdance. People were doing that actively because it was an answer to the meta at the time, and people were using that as a way to clear board states and stuff like this. Like, that's still something that happens, and Talishar, even with it being the way that it is and the only generic weapon you could play, was enough to do that. I can't
wait for Polish, which just removes rust counters.
See, now that would be cool, right? Just get rid of it, right? You pay 2 resources, remove a rust counter.
Yeah, perfect.
Like, cool, awesome.
I'll go again.
Like,
just
make it a yellow. Make it so you can't really. I mean, or make
that
it
sounds
colorless.
like you're pissing on your sword.
Yeah, why would you piss on your sword, Jacob? That's crazy.
That's gotta be red. You're tempering it.
Tropic.
You know what? He's got a point. But yeah, definitely more so like, it's not so much that there needs to be a new generic weapon. I'm sure at some point in the future there will be, but like, what is the point if also what they want to do is make every hero thematic, right? If they come out with a set that is all generic heroes, right, and their literal class is generic and not like warrior or ranger or anything,
Megatron, whatever,
right? Sure, like at that point, you could make a new weapon, but there's not a need for it. It's not something that's like, oh, the design space is really poor for generic weapons. That's not what they want to design around. That's not what they want to do. Is when they make a new necromancer hero, they want to go, but what if they had a generic weapon instead of this very thematic, cutlass or whatever, right? So
it seems like in the dev talk that I think James had commented or Brian had said they're basically developed out to like 2030-ish, right? So if that's the case, that's 4 years at 3 sets a piece. That's 12 or 16 additional sets.
They are currently proofing sets that release in 2028.
I thought he said something about 2030.
No. The development has started down the line, but proofing means these cards are getting read and for final looks.
Oh, wow.
To go into a print file.
So theoretically, we have the next 2 years, or let's say 6 to 8 sets worth of stuff, not including Blitz decks RAP Blitz. Any kind of Sage decks or UPF if we ever get a UPF product again, or Around the Table or whatever. Well, it sounds like all that stuff might be already press fit. Here you go, send it to the printer and go. Where do you see? Where do you see it going? Like what is, right now, heroes get to fall off. We have no new heroes-ish. So there's going to be a little bit of a trimming of the fat. But as we start adding more and more heroes, do you think that this is going to be a more common occurrence where we're going to get these sets like this? Or is this a one every 2 to 3 years? What's your future outlook on sets like this Compendium of Wraith?
They kind of said or alluded to the fact that they're not going to do this every year, but they're going to do it kind of as needed, as sort of an interregnum, to kind of rebalance things, give some love to classes that need it, that as more of a broad scale thing, unlike Mastery Pack, which, by the way, Mastery Pack Guardian was basically Mastery Pack Gravy Bones. Like, what the fuck? But
what the hell?
But when you're talking about these types of sets like Compendium, these I think are designed to exist as a little bit of a reset button for classes that are lagging behind. I think one of the biggest examples of that in this set particularly is the Draconic Ninja, Draconic Suite in general. Because
there's
just the Phoenix Flame stuff.
Like all
the
those
Phi
artworks.
support is insanely good. And even Smoldering Steel, like Mara Ferris has been begging at an altar for the last year for one more 0-cost Draconic Warrior attack reaction. It didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
It just needed to cost 0 and be an attack reaction and be Draconic. The text box could be blank. She didn't give a shit. But just needed one more. And we got it. So, and it actually, the text box isn't blank. What do you know?
Yeah,
I find it
good,
wildly
quite
reprinted
not blank.
Phoenix Flame.
Well, sure, but not everybody has them.
Yeah.
And there are cards that definitely reference Phoenix Flames.
Yeah, it's also another reason why I think those last couple of cards in the set are tokens and not
Could be
that, right? But I think I love it. I love the way it's exactly as you were saying, like the amount of support that supplemental sets give is far more important to the overall future game design than cool. We entered 3 to 4 new heroes in a set. Let's see how they work out, push them into the next thing. Cause it's like initially everybody was like, oh, Super Slam was a bad set. Why was it a bad set? Because all 4 heroes weren't at the top of the meta immediately upon release. Like, it's just like obviously a bad set. But now it looks like people have taken the time to figure it out. And you see Pleiades up there, and it's like, okay, what are we doing? Like, did we just not judge the set properly? A set like this at least allows for the LL system to catch up. It allows for new tech to enter for other means. And sure, like current heroes can utilize it too, right? Verdance can use the new Verdance card that got printed in the set. But I mean, is it going to be anything that's going to change the way they are as a being? Like, probably not, but it helps the heroes that need it.
And by the way, Super Slam was a talented set. You knew at least one of those heroes was going to be good.
Yeah.
Quick math, really, guys. How many non-talented heroes are currently living Legend without looking?
I'm pretty sure it is only one.
It is 4. Can you name them?
Dash.
Correct.
Oh, that's right. Dash. What the hell am I talking about? Yeah, Dash, Viserai, Azalea.
Yeah, Azalea.
And
Kano.
All of the Arcane Rising heroes.
Yep.
Are the only
Yes.
4 non-talented heroes that have
Yep. That is true. That is true. And I'm telling you,
Always take
it's
KO Armed and Dangerous is coming soon, but
yeah. But it's to the point. Like, a talented set is going to do, like, talents have always just been incredibly powerful, and so that's what
the card
we
pool
end up seeing.
expands.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we
that's the
have
whole
a card
thing.
that gives you Royal, but do we ever think we're going to see cards like when I saw the ice helmet here? I still wonder one of these days if we're going to get something that like bolts on. You know, if you equip this, your hero is also like X, talent or X ice. But maybe that would just be too screwed up and hard to manage. But I've still wondered why we don't see something like that, because that would be the first way to really change things up. Like, this card.
There's a really easy answer, and that's you could somehow lose your equipment piece, and then your deck cards are illegal.
Yeah. Because Royal is not a
building it hard.
Like, Royal is technically something that you can tack on to a hero, right? But all of the the physical cards within your deck that have Royal in them are not Royal Draconic. They are X, and if you are Royal, do
Right.
Y, right? So
They don't require you to be Royal to play them.
correct, yes. So in this scenario, right, if you had a helmet that was like, you are also get the essence of ice, technically, you'd have to consider an errata of like, cool, when you equip your equipment, technically your deck becomes legal, but if Jarl blows up your piece of equipment, your deck is
You
no
lose the
longer
game?
legal. Like, yeah, it's the same as like losing your hero. So it is, it's kind of the same deal in which, like, if Teklevasan plays Singularity and turns into a Shadow Mechanologist, it's not like you get to put Shadow cards in your deck, right? So
That'd be cool.
hard design space. Hard design
Yeah,
space.
it's real hard.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have too much more that I could probably poke you about. I mean, we kind of covered a lot of variety pack of stuff, and I know this is getting a little bit longer, so I didn't want to like keep you on forever. Anything you want to comment about, or just anything you want to wrap things up with?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
I don't have too much. I think it's Pen is a super cool set. Still think it was a home run. It did exactly what it wanted to do, and I'm curious to see what this does for Silver Age. I'm curious to see what this does for Classic Constructed. Some of the cards that were printed in there even have like direct LL hate, which is kind of funny.
Which I love.
Yeah, like it's a very they utilize the canvas they had in front of them, and this is what I like to see from a supplemental set. Right? I did not want Dusk Till Dawn 2.0.
No,
I wanted Everfest 2.0, and that's
There
what
you go.
I feel like
Well,
we
you're
got.
getting Dusk Till
So,
Dawn 3.0 when Monarch the Third, the Beckoning or whatever comes out.
we get
Yeah,
Prism the Prisming.
I think
Prism
that's a
3.
I think that's a full set though. Like that's not.
Yeah.
perfect. That will be a supplemental set.
Yeah, that's a draftable. That's going to be a draftable
Yeah,
set.
That's
so.
draftable.
Which is fine, because that's better, because what they did for Dusk Till Dawn, because it was a supplemental set, they just had people play Monarch draft again for their pre-release stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I think
Which was horrible.
yeah, not great.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely future of Fab looks good. I'm excited for the things to come, and I'm going to continue pointing the camera at my face and talking to a microphone and saying
Yeah.
what I love about Flesh and Blood. So
I've been doing that for over 4 years. God damn.
Yeah, there's several folks that I think have kind of, left, ebbed and flowed in and out. So there's a couple that I think actually on the Bronson video, because I'd mentioned Bronson earlier. At least I don't know if I was recording when we did that, but I
maybe, I don't know.
But Tall Timmy had responded to that video, like he'd posted on there, and I was just like, "That's a name I hadn't seen in a long time." It's like,
yeah, it's and it's a completely different episode. But that's one of the things that I've noticed as somebody who has been a creator in the flesh and blood space for 218 weeks. But who's counting? Is that it's the scene is much bigger, but a lot of the old ones are gone.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot to decompress in that, and we would be here for another 3 hours talking.
Yeah,
so
that's an entirely separate video.
Let's not do that today.
Separate video.
Well, Alex, anything further you want to add?
Nope, that's it. Go enjoy Silver Age.
And
that's
cat,
what I want from
apparently.
you. And the cat. Go enjoy it.
Yeah,
go buy cat.
My cat ran that way, which is actually surprising because that was the very first time the cat has come across, because typically the cat has been a real butthead recently. So, you're coming back. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, all
there
right.
we go.
Well, thank you. There you go. This is Tonks. The new
Hey,
baby.
Tonks.
No, Tonks.
It's a good kitty. You're being an asshole.
At least she's not eating the headset this time, so that's a huge win. So, all right, well, thanks for tuning in. If you don't know where to find these two, where can they find you?
Alex, go first because I'm long-winded.
Okay. You can find me over at Ashen Wings TCG. I talk about Sage a lot and budget stuff, and yeah, that's it.
You can find me on YouTube or any podcast application you can think of. Just search for Flesh and Pod. Long form, 2-ish hour and a half, 2 hours every week of me and my dipshit partner saying dipshit things into microphones. And for some reason, people enjoy it. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yep. Well, it has been fun. Appreciate you both talking. Glad we kind of covered just a myriad of variety pack of things with Sage. So we'll eager to see where things turn out, and I think it'll be exciting to see kind of the next chapter in the books of Companion.
Okay, you're fired again.
Yep, get out of here. Stop
Get
that.
out. You're done.
End this episode. Shut that down.
Bye.